it's Jennifer Henry, your host for the Game Changer Real Estate Podcast. I am conducting a series right now that I am loving because it means I get to talk to my own agents and share their wisdom with you instead of it always just being me. And today I have a special guest on here, my very own Game Changer Real Estate agent. His name is Tony Adkins. Hi, Tony. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love doing this. So, I'm in my little happy place right now.
Yep,
And
you in your zone.
yeah, this is my genius zone. I love doing this, but I also know you have a lot to share too. So today isn't about me. Today's about you. Tony and I have been, Tony, how long have you been at Game Changer Realty? How many months now?
Oh, since March, so it's May now. So, a little over 2.
Okay. So Tony is a relatively new agent here in Florida. However, he was an agent in Kansas before, so he's just relearning real estate here and building a new business here in Florida. And in the time that Tony's been here, which is not very long, but long enough to really gain some insight into what this business is going to be like for him, he has a lot to share. He's learned a lot. I've been part of the journey. I've been able to witness it, and it's been amazing to watch his personal growth throughout this process. So, Tony, I'm going to pitch the question to you that I've pitched to the others that are in this series, and that is simply this. As a new agent, what do you wish someone listening today that's considering getting into real estate or just maybe got their license or knows someone that does, what do you wish you had known before you got into this business?
Well, I guess the main thing for me would be that I would truly have to learn about myself, because I believe that my mindset was, okay, this is going to be a new career. I got to learn all this stuff about real estate, learn all about the market and just statistics and just be able to speak to people, and I'm going to be good. But I didn't realize that I got to know Tony Adkins.
Oh, that's really good. So what does that really mean and why?
Well, to be honest with you, the houses will sell themselves. You have to sell yourself. And in order to do that, you need to be the best you. And to be the best you, you got to know you. And for me, I know as an electrician, I was very good at electrical work. I've been doing it my whole life. And I've always had someone basically tell me what my job was. Hey, this is what you have to do. Go do it. And I had help in learning how to do that job. I've had people hold my hand, teaching me every little step of the way. And to be honest with you, I learned the craft, but I never learned Tony Adkins because I was always working for someone else. And they basically set the stage for me. So when you come into real estate, when you come into being an entrepreneur, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. You don't have anyone setting the stage for you. Unless you come to Game Changer and you got Jen Henry. But
even I don't tell you what to do every day. Well, but I do redirect you back to you. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of people are receptive. Some people don't want that. They don't want to do the deep work. You have been, and I am delighted at what progress you've made. And so as you've gotten to know Tony Adkins, whatever you're willing to share, Tony, what have you discovered about yourself? And how have you learned how to work with yourself in this whole process?
Well, what I'm learning about myself is, especially in real estate right now, it's really not about me. And I think that learning that I have to remove myself in order to go forward is huge. I mean, this is really not about the houses. It's really not about Tony Adkins. It's about the people. It's about the people that you're trying to help. And for me, it's like, wow, I get to change my whole mindset into living my whole life out of contribution. What can I give? What can I give to my community? What can I give to the people I just meet every day? What can I give to my family? And when you come from that mindset and you start operating from that mindset, I think everything else in this business will fall in place because you're coming from the right place. It's not about you. And so I'm learning that. I'm learning that in order to have the confidence that it requires to do this job, that I have to remove myself. Because when you're coming from contribution, you're allowing yourself, your confidence is having enough room to stretch, if that makes sense.
Sure does.
Because it's not about what you can get. You're receiving in the process of giving, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so I think taking the time at the beginning of this becoming a real estate agent, here it is. You got your license, you found your brokerage. That's fine. Learn all the stuff that you can, but take the time to learn about yourself. What fears do you have that could be holding you back? What are your gifts? What are you good at that can, project you forward? So just taking the time, not just to learn about your fears and your weaknesses, but to learn about your strengths. Just learn you know, and just know that as long as you don't give up, show up every day, you're going to be fine. Go back to I was going to tell you, make sure that you write a letter about why you got into real estate.
A letter
Write a
to
letter. Yeah, a letter to you about what is your visions, what is your dreams, what are your goals, what is inspiring you at this moment. Write a letter and try to write that letter when you're in that moment of just feeling it, just seeing it, and having emotions about your visions and stuff like that, and put all that on paper. And then maybe when times get hard, when you feel like maybe you're not worth it, maybe you're not good enough, maybe you feel like giving up, you can read that letter, maybe inspire yourself. But just know that you're good enough. Always know that you're good enough, and replace all that negative thinking, all those lies that come into your head, those lies from your whole life. Just start replacing them with truth and with positive thoughts, and be intentional about it every day. Start your day out with that. Positive affirmations. If you have faith in God, spend time with God, knowing that your creator is the one that created you. So he has a blueprint to you. When you connect to him, you're going to know more about you. I mean, it's worth taking the time to do that. And just giving the business side of things to God, because it's too much for you to handle. It's too much pressure. It's too much stress. You have God to give that to. So taking the time to do that every day is important. So
I love that. I mean, you're speaking my language, Tony, and it's a gift to me to see you grow in this way. And all that was in you. Every single bit of that you have discovered on your own by simply taking the time to get to know you. Back to your original point. I love your advice, Tony, about writing a letter about what your visions and dreams are for this career. And I want to kind of point out that I've seen people do this before and it works. It really, really does. And to your point, when you do get stuck in the mud, it is the horsepower that can pull you out. And I recommend doing that too at the very beginning, when you've got the dopamine flowing through your veins.
yes.
And you're in it and you're excited before the fears take over and the doubts and the defeat start working their own game on your mind. Get it out, get it on paper, give it to someone that matters, that has an investment in you, that will remind you of it. Tony, on a practical level, you already alluded to a couple of these things, like writing yourself a letter, spending time with God, and feeling, really growing your faith and getting to know yourself. On a practical level, when you're in the middle of something that doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel positive, or it causes stinking thinking, can you tell our listeners and our viewers today how you tackle that in the live time moment?
Absolutely. So I'm actually going to unplug my computer and take a quick little walk.
Please.
So one of the things that I was taught to do was to take captive my thoughts. So in any situation or circumstance that I start to feel negative or defeated, then I know that's the time to slow down and start paying attention to what my thoughts are. Because our thoughts are what leads to our feelings. And our feelings is what leads to our reactions. And our reactions, what leads to our results. And in order to have better results, we have to have positive thinking. So I have this little thing here
Yes.
that I put by my bathroom mirror. And it goes from circumstance to thoughts to feelings to reactions to results. And on the other side, it says right here on circumstances, slow down to think. And then my thoughts, I want them to be biblical. So I go to my feelings, and I want my feelings to ultimately end up with gratitude. And I got reactions, which obviously I want them to be Christ-like. And my results are intentional because we took captive our negative thoughts. We started replacing them with truth and positive thoughts, which in turn allows us better feelings, better reactions, better results. So that's kind of how I'm working on that right now.
Guys, those of you that heard that and didn't see it, Tony wrote that on a paper plate. Okay. And Tony wrote that in the circle on the paper plate because he's really embracing the whole concept of taking his thoughts captive. Like, I'm watching him do it. It's amazing. And that's why I asked you that question. I was hoping you would share the paper plate because you shared it with me. And I was like, wow, what a great idea. And so he just wrote that in a circle. For those of you that are not watching this on YouTube and are just in the audio podcast, and he's got it up to see. And where'd you say it's in your bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you got a paper plate. You could probably put that anywhere you want. So for those listening, for those seeing this today, I want to remind everyone here that Tony, what makes Tony really special right now is that he is embracing this power that he has, that he was created with. Where Tony is universally human is that we all have this power. Tony's just embracing it and saying, I'm going to own this. He's making himself use it to his advantage to get the life that he's designed to have. So I want to say for everyone here today, this is available to all of you. Tony's just put it into a practical way that's really unique and personal, and it's working, and I'm watching it work. And
absolutely.
Tony, yesterday, if you don't mind, I would like to point out that for our listeners and viewers, Tony texted me yesterday that he was having negative thoughts about something. And by the way, I make myself available to my agents for any time they have stinking thinking. I tell them, send me your negative thoughts and I'll help you replace them. But Tony didn't even need me to do that because by the time I actually had even suggested we get on a call to work through it, he had already done it. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, yeah, actually I do because I was going to take your advice and give you a call, but I knew that all you're going to do is ask me questions, and I even knew which questions you were going to ask, and I kind of giggle about that because that's really what we should become good at as real estate agents anyway, is
That's
asking
right.
questions, right?
That's right, my friend.
And so the same way that I was able to figure myself out by asking questions is how we get our customers, our clients, to figure themselves out in a transaction process by asking questions. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
So, but yeah, no, I just was able to slow myself down in that particular situation. And basically a long story short, I didn't know if I was being ignored by a possible client, buyers, and so I have a tendency to just kind of make up their mind for them, and because I know what they're thinking, I know what they're feeling,
Well, sure, you're in their head. Of course, you know.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. They're not calling me, right? So
obvious that you're clearly a loser.
Yeah. So typically what I would have done is made their mind up for them, and I would have believed it, and I would have spiraled down, and I would have just end up ultimately at a place where what am I doing? I should be an electrician. Why am I a real estate agent? And that's just a lie. That's a false narrative that needs to be replaced. And so I said, just because I believe that this person is thinking this way or feeling this way doesn't make it true. So I picked up the phone call and just simply asked them. I said, hey, did I do anything wrong? Are we good? Because I just want you to know I'm here to help you and I don't want to pressure you, but I don't want you to feel ignored either. So, they said, no, we're good. We're just busy. And they gave me the whole thing. I said, okay. And we had a good conversation and we're moving forward. So that was how I worked through that process. And it was
This is
good.
beautiful. And just your energy around it, just your empowerment around that is just so inspiring. I hope, and I don't hope, I know someone listening right now has had that happen.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're just being honest. Tony, guys, everybody listening here, Tony's not weak. Tony's human. This is what we all do. He's just being honest. He's not afraid to share the truth. We all get into a downward spiral. We all make up our minds about how other people think about us. We all completely burn bridges because we have stories and lies in our head that dictate our reactions. And what you did was, you said it again, slowed down and really looked at, just because I think this way does not mean it's true, or because I feel this way doesn't mean it's true. And then you took a consequential action to just pick up the phone and call, and you got the real story. And now you're better. And so I hope everyone hears that, because every single person either in real estate or considering getting into real estate will have a customer that will blow them off or will not return a call or will not do what they're supposed to do. And we have to be able to manage ourselves through that. We have to. Otherwise, we will become a statistic. And Tony, I'm so thankful you did that, because I do not want you to be a statistic. You're not going to be a statistic. I know that.
Nope, not going to be. And I mean, that's the thing is, coming from being a W-2 employee to being an entrepreneur, being a real estate agent, what I'm learning right now is that becoming a real estate agent requires me to be my very best. And if I don't quit, it will also push me to become my very best.
Right.
And that's the exciting part. Like, that's the part where when I don't even think about a dollar amount, I think about what else is going on here. That's the win. That's the growth. When you can become aligned with yourself, God, your mind, your heart, God, your family, everything is in line. That's the win. The money will come.
Yeah,
That's not the goal.
that's beautiful.
Having a full life, I think, is the goal.
It is. And the byproduct of that will be the business that you deserve, and the business that you believe you deserve, and the business that you want, and the business that you desire. And I couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. You're out there living it. You're living proof, Tony. I just want to thank you for being that example. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being transparent. I know that sometimes you feel like you don't want to be, but I'm going to tell you right now that transparency helps others in ways you don't even know. So I hope someone today can take that away.
Thank you. And I mean, with all that said, you still got to put in the work.
Well, you do.
That's the other thing is, don't come to this job because of a TV show that made it look fun and easy. This job is work. Before you came to this job, there was a 9 to 5 you might have been at. It required work. And you was not able to leave that job to go do this, take a nap, or do that. So treat this job like it's a job.
That's right. And you have done that. And one final thing I want to say before is, I want to piggyback on something you said. You said this job requires you to be your very best.
Yes.
By standard definition in the brokerage world, many brokers and leaders think that being your best is helping you have the best leads, the best scripts, the best schedule, the best contract training, and all those things are important. But what you're really saying, I think what you're really saying is being your best inside here, is being your best you, the most authentic, most real, most strengthened and empowered version of you, what you were created to be. Am I putting words in your mouth, or is that what you were saying?
No, that's absolutely what I'm saying.
Yeah. The rest, the skills, yeah, work on those. But the work is inside your brain of what you are becoming and who you need to be every day to show up the way you need to show up for the people that are depending on you. And by that I mean your family. So And then, but the byproduct of that, the customers that will eventually depend on you when you are showing up as the best version of you in all aspects, the whole version of you.
Absolutely.
Tony, you are a true inspiration. Your journey, your pain, your struggles have a purpose. And I know that someone listening today is going to hear that and be inspired and blessed by it. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you being transparent and open about all that.
Yes. And then also make this fun,
Yeah.
because all this can be so hard. Like, this is a job, treat it like a job, just working on yourself, changing all the negativity to positive. That's hard work. It can be draining. Figure out a way to make this job fun.
Yeah.
Make it unique to you.
Yeah. It is fun when you look for the fun. You got to have the fun in that. You got to be grateful. You got to live in gratitude, because this is an opportunity too. And it's one you've worked hard for. So Tony, I hope our listeners are on the lookout for you, because we know what's happening. It's starting to happen for you. And I can't wait to see where you're at in a year from now, 3 years, 5 years from now, with just this insight that you've gained and who you're becoming. It's pretty amazing. So thank you.
All right. And thank you.
All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode from the one and only Tony Adkins. We appreciate our agents who are willing to give of their time and energy to bring to inspire those other agents that are coming up behind them. And we always appreciate our listeners. So if you've got any feedback for us, please let us know. Always come back. We release new episodes every week, and we have another one coming next week from another one of our amazing agents. So we hope you'll come back and check us out then. Until then.